everybody. Welcome to the last month of 2020. Actually, I think it's the first day of 2021. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. Recording this on Wednesday the 30th to bring you a summation of geek news for the month of December 2020. I have a migraine, and that's why I sound the way I do. My name is Colin, and we are here to recap the hottest headlines of geek news to bring you the most important, impactful, and interesting stories that we can muster. And while the last couple of months have been a little uneven, December was undoubtedly a doozy on a few fronts. So I've got three people with me. We're going to break down the month. Well, they're going to do it while I just pound Excedrin for 60 minutes. My friends here are...
I am Jeff Levitt, and I don't have a migraine, which is cool. And it's just generally my state of being is not having a migraine, thank God. But, I figured I'd contrast the tone a little bit by pointing that out explicitly.
I'm Jocelyn, and while I don't have a migraine...
You're not adding a lot to the no migraine energy, Jocelyn. It kind of sounds like you have a migraine.
I don't have a migraine, but boy, have I been out of it for the past 3 days. I've had to deal with toddlers for like a week and a half, and it's a lot. Hi, I'm here.
Estuans interés irravementi. It's me, Chowder. Da, 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 da. It's me, Chowder.
Wow, my headache just got like a million times worse.
Just fucking introduce yourself.
Hell?
You always have to have a bit, don't you?
What was that?
The Sephiroth theme, but
you son of a bitch.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
You gotta fucking... I purposefully made a point of going before you in the order so I could do my own Sephiroth bit, and you just fucking jumped me in the gut.
So the four of us are going to take turns bringing up some of the stories that we found the most interesting. It is going to be the last briefing program of the year, though it is technically a new year today for you listening. It is still the end of last year for us, and last year in 2019, we actually ended the episode trying to recap with like what we think was the biggest story of the year. For obvious reasons, I don't think people's memories of 2020 are quite as cogent or streamlined or organized. So I'm definitely not going to end the episode that way. But we already know I'm feeling like shit, so I'm also not going to start the episode asking how people feel, because that'll just make me feel worse.
I mean, to be totally honest, you feeling like shit right now, Colin, is probably the best way that we could give a perfect summation of the year 2020. So
yeah,
it dragged me down. You could listen if you binge all 12 episodes of the briefing program this year, you'll get a sense of what's up, as if you don't already have that sense. But
Colin's migraine is actually caused by him doing such a good job at like preparing for summing up all the news from 2020 that before he even thought about it, it broke his brain a little bit. So
it's like I didn't have the right cooling system set up to process all the garbage. So I kind of want to ask before we jump into it, like, if we had to just scattershot, pick a piece of geek news that made you happy, made you feel good, made you excited, a piece of geek news from 2020, a release, an announcement, a review, maybe something that you hate, bombed spectacularly, maybe not the energy we're shooting for, but what's a piece of geek news from 2020 that put a smile on your face?
You did not prepare me for this. Yeah,
I didn't prepare myself for this.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers hybrid live action with John Mulaney and Andy Samberg.
All right.
Wait, live action?
Wild.
Hybrid.
Oh, okay. So Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I think.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
In a cruel twist, John Mulaney is a cartoon character, and all the chipmunks are played by real chipmunks.
Yes.
It's just going to be John Mulaney like doing his best.
Real-looking chipmunks. Like, there's just a few chipmunks on set.
They just put chipmunks on set.
And they put some cute clothing onto them. They don't really do the voices quite right, because they're actual chipmunks, but...
Yeah, so I don't really know what that Chippendale Rescue Rangers is going to entail, but I'm here for it.
Okay, well, a few things that are sticking out in my mind that have been positive ones this year. I really liked what we got out of The Mandalorian, and I'll talk about that a little bit more specifically later. The Animaniacs reboot, although I haven't finished it yet, that just as an existence is pretty cool, and that was from this year. I'm sure there was some more exciting stuff from earlier on. I mean, all the stuff with the recent Transformers line that no one cares about other than I do, that's been pretty exciting for me. But yeah, those are my, I guess, 2020 highlights. Impromptu.
Let's see, 2020 highlights. The problem is I can't.
Of course it did. It's fine. Let Chowder go. Yeah. I'll resync Jeff after.
Okay. So highlights.
We're not getting any of this, are we?
No. It wasn't in my recording because I got a phone call.
I know.
Now I'm recording again.
Well, that was so good.
Anyways,
we're gonna have to clap again.
Highlights
though.
For the.
Yeah, I know, Jeff. It's fine. Let Chowder say his thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
So highlights for the year for me. Well, a lot of like this year kind of bleeds into 2019. So, my memory is wonky, but like what springs to mind that I know for sure is 2020. Pokemon Crown Tundra, actually really darn good.
That was a good
if
one.
The base game was like Crown Tundra, would have been a home run. Let's see. Sephiroth is in Smash. And, like, holy crap, that is so cool, so fucking okay. Like, for Jeff, his, like, favorite thing, Minecraft is in there. Sephiroth, this is, like, for me. This is, oh my god, like.
I feel like it's the closest I'll get to Sora being in the game, so I'll take
it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kills both Sora and Geno's chances, which, like,
at least this year.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
I don't know. Look at Fire Emblem. Look how many very samey characters get in from Fire Emblem.
So many Fire Emblem characters.
I don't think you could really say that Sora nor Geno are alike to Sephiroth. It's just like the company that
too many anime sword boys.
Sephiroth is not an anime sword boy. He is the anime sword boy.
True.
Like a big mile-long ass katana. It's like long white hair. It's beautiful, and like the way he plays is actually really cool. I think he's gonna.
Well, I think that gets into some of the news for this month. So
you motherfucker!
Put a pin in that.
All over
you're excited. Don't worry, Jeff. I'm just gonna bleep out 30 seconds of that, and it's gonna be horrible to listen to. No, Chowder, your excitement is
Animal Crossing was
delightful.
Also a highlight of 2020.
Oh yes.
So those things. Yep.
Fucking
yeah.
Such a fucking light in the dark
for
so
joy,
many people.
Colin?
Oh boy. See, here's the funny thing. I didn't plan to ask this question. I just kind of did it, so I have also not thought about this at all. I'm just a really good host, aren't I? So if I'm looking back at 2020, I honestly think that the two pieces of entertainment that have stuck with me that are new, one, this has been the biggest year of Star Trek releases since 1999. We have gotten, 30 episodes of Star Trek.
99.
Exactly. I am partying like it's 1999.
Oh, man. I can't get the Prince song out of my head now.
We got 30 episodes of Star Trek, and most of it has been really good, particularly Lower Decks is a crown jewel.
Yes.
In my head, I love God. Like I liked Picard a lot. We reviewed it. I think it ended on a bit of a stumble, but like overall, I liked it. Discovery's not over yet, but it's fun. Lower Decks just was a fucking ride, start to finish. It's something I wholly did not expect to be what it was, and it makes me happy to think about it. And then other thing, like I've been playing Destiny for 6 years. I should be sick of Destiny, you know. And then this year they announced, because it's like you have to buy the new expansion every year, and now there's season passes on top of the expansion, so it's like $70-$80 a year I'm paying to play Destiny. And it's like when am I going to drop off the game? Two big things happened this year. One, they put it on Game Pass for Xbox, so I don't have to buy the expansions anymore. It's part of something I'm already paying for. And two, the latest expansion has been fucking amazing. Aside from one of my friends where the game is bugged so bad he can't play anything by himself, that sucks for him. But for me, it has just been, we have not spent some time talking about Destiny 2. I'll probably get an episode with Austin and Pat in here somewhere, but like, man, I'm a big fan of these franchises that have some real dark spots, and this has been a very bright year for both of them. makes me happy. Makes me very happy. That's me.
I really gotta say, 2 of the things on this list were things that my studio made this year, and that makes me happy too.
Jocelyn's excitement is that other people are excited.
Well, yeah, because I didn't work on the 2 shows, but I know people who did, so it's exciting to see that their work is appreciated.
Word.
They very much are. Well, let's get into some other things that may or may not be as appreciated.
Should we clap in, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's a fucking fantastic idea.
Wait, hold up.
Only... Cool. So I am going to kick it off. We're going to talk about something that's been a little controversial. We found out last month that the hotly anticipated film Wonder Woman 1984 was going to be released on HBO Max. And people were like, oh, okay, that's kind of fun. We'll get to watch it. And for those of us that did watch it, should probably have a separate episode to talk about that movie. But
in theaters.
Yeah, I watched it and I just... 1, I was super disappointed, and 2, I was super annoyed at
so much of it.
Yeah, so much of it, but also just how propaganda-y it was, and how anti-Muslim it was, and
it's very 1984, a little on the nose in a lot of ways. Hey, remember when Wonder Woman definitely that guy a bunch? Probably gonna cut that out.
What?
Anyway.
Wait, Jeff, have you not seen it?
No, I haven't watched it because, I really kind of didn't like the first Wonder Woman movie, even though everyone loved it. And then I heard that this one was kind of bad, so I haven't seen it yet. But you can just watch it on HBO Max, right? Which I have, so I might check it out
for another couple weeks.
But I'm feeling a little bit validated here, since I really didn't like the first Wonder Woman, and I'm definitely in the minority on that opinion. And now
I still like the first Wonder Woman.
This one sucks, and I'm like, hell yeah! Now you're on my level.
There's definitely consent issues in this one.
Woof.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not ideal.
No,
yeah, and they play it off. Let that go. They play it off as very sweet. Don't worry. Anyway,
and also just racism issues in that Wonder Woman has to save the poor brown woman from the evil barbaric brown dude who's being manipulated by a smarter white dude. It's very clear. It's very
there's a lot of weird
good
stuff.
Maybe it'll be worth having an episode for its own.
It kind of feels like the movie was written in 1984 and they just made it this year.
Actually,
honestly, it feels like the movie was being done by Zack Snyder.
Well, he produced it. He came back to produce it, and that went great. Okay. So, anyway, the reason I brought up Wonder Woman 1984 was not to talk about its terrible consent issues, or racism issues, or plot issues, or structure issues, or emotional resonance issues. No Pedro Pascal issues. Pedro Pascal, very fun to watch. But the reason I brought it up is because it started something. As movie theaters are currently flagging in the United States due to the ongoing unpleasantness, you've got a problem where people want to sell movies, but they can't make the amount of money they want when they sell those movies. Case in point, Tenet is the biggest movie of the year, quote unquote, and it made $300,000 something worldwide, which is less than Nolan's movies usually make domestically.
Wait, 300,000?
300 million. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
I was like,
weird place to lose a comma. My bad. But yeah, 300 million versus the billions some of his earlier movies have made. So HBO Max and Warner Brothers, AT&T, all of them looked at Wonder Woman 84, saw people were excited about it, and they were like, what if we did this with every movie? And also, what if we didn't consult anybody who made any of the movies?
Or anyone we have contracts with
that sells the movies? What if we just kind of did it? And they announced it, and everyone was kind of like, oh, yeah! Except, all the people involved in making and selling and distributing the movies. Yeah. So it's been kind of a weird month where they came out with this announcement that all 17 of the 2021 releases under the Warner Brothers distribution label, including movies like Dune, which is Denis Villeneuve Denis Villeneuve, I don't know which way to pronounce it. The guy who did Arrival and Blade Runner and Sicario, his new movie about Dune is huge. And they're like, we're just going to put it on HBO Max. And Denny was kind of like, trying to build a franchise, and HBO Max does not really seem like the place to do that. And then everyone else kind of came out and said the same thing. And much to his credit, Christopher Nolan, whose movie Tenet already came out, is distributed by Warner Brothers. And every time that he was asked around this month to plug Tenet, because it just had its home release, to say, like, hey, talk about your movie, he would say, well, actually, fuck Warner Brothers. This sucks a lot. He used his platform to just like skewer his distribution partner, and this is almost a direct quote. He was like, people go to bed at night thinking that they've just made a movie with the best studio in the world, and instead they wake up on the worst streaming service in the world. And I'm like, hot damn. God. Fucking roast 'em, Chris. My God. So there's been a lot of drama around that since then. I know at least Dune has been reappraised because they really want to make a franchise out of it. For those who don't know, Dune, book from the 60s, like the best-selling sci-fi novel ever. I actually just finished it. Fucking amazing book. The last time they made a movie, it was real bad. Tried to make a show out of it, also real bad. So they're really hoping they can finally milk money out of Dune.
Do Dune right.
And hashtag do Dune right. But basically, Dune is kind of like the movie that's really focusing people in on this issue because it was supposed to come out this year.
Huge
it
budget.
Is huge budget, like enormous film. The cast is all-star and incredible. The trailers, whether or not you think they look good, they definitely sell the scope of the movie, but it seems like my prediction is that it's going to become an analog for the movie industry the way that Tenet was, where all of 2020, we knew Tenet was coming out in July. So every time that movie got pushed, everybody was kind of moving their release dates with it and trying to mimic it. And when it came up to $300 million, people said, this is not the amount of money that we wanted. If the best of the best, or biggest of the biggest, quality of Tenet, you can listen to our episode about Tenet. There's some debate over that. But like that was a movie that was the tentpole for the year, and it came up short. And so as Warner Brothers and AT&T and HBO are making waves for how they're going to handle this, Dune is becoming the movie that people are going to look at to see, okay, is this going to be sustainable? How are we going to approach it? Dune is now, I think, back to exclusively a theatrical release to maintain its franchise potential, unquote. But the other 16 movies coming out next year, and I think, I don't think that includes Justice League, the Snyder Edition, Director's Cut.
Well,
because that's already an HBO Max exclusive.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because of Dune's budget and expectations, like Tenet, like it gets special treatment. The other 16 movies, not quite as big.
Right.
I mean,
so
Godzilla
nobody knows how they're going to be
King
treated
Kong,
in every.
Yeah, I was like, Godzilla vs. King Kong is supposed to be a big thing.
That's one of them. Crap, that's this year. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a doozy.
Man, I really hope that one doesn't suck. Like
I mean,
at least like.
I mean, it's gonna.
I hope it does suck. They're not good unless they suck.
They're not good. You're right.
You're right.
But I want them to be good.
Let me rephrase
I want them to be
that.
bad in a good way.
I want it to be bad in a good way, not bad in a bad way.
Yeah. Here's the thing. And there's still something to be said for the spectacle of going to a movie theater. I gushed enough about Tenet for it, and I think the Godzilla versus King Kong movie, I don't think I would enjoy that at home as much as I would enjoy that in a theater.
We just need
we
just need to bring back more drive-in theaters. That solves the problem, right?
Yep.
Like, to a degree. I mean, it's not exactly the same experience, but you're watching on a big screen. It feels more justified for you, like paying $15 for it rather than, like, if you're just in your living room and you're like, why am I fucking paying, like, $20 for this or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's and people are distanced because they're all in their own cars and shit like that. Like, it just makes, I don't know. Like, obviously constructing a bunch of more, just get some projectors, find some nice blank looking fucking buildings. Solve this problem.
Let me name for you guys some of the movies that are on this list. Mm-hmm. Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oof.
Okay.
In the Heights, which is supposed to be a big thing.
Yeah.
From
Yeah, that was his first big fucking
Manuel
Smash
Miranda?
musical.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Suicide Squad.
Okay,
So the new Suicide Squad movie.
The James Gunn one.
I had to explain to Laura one time the difference between Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, and I think she almost deleted my contact.
Hopefully the difference is one of them is good and the other one isn't. But
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Also,
I mean, with
The
like
Matrix
Wonder Woman
4.
1984. Who
but
knows?
James Gunn makes good shit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So The
Anyway.
Matrix 4 is on this list.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Man.
Oh Christ. Boycott
Also Mortal
HBO.
Kombat.
Holy shit.
There is no theater.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And then
is
like
a-
some Clint Eastwood movies and stuff. But like, so those are the bigger ones that it's kind of like, we shouldn't just be...
Also, it's just wild that every movie on that list is either going to be very good or very bad. They're not a single thing that you just listed is going to be just average, a pretty passable movie. They're all going to be a total train wreck or an absolute
I'll take that
wild
action.
ride.
Yeah, I'll
guys.
take that action.
They're making a Tom and Jerry movie?
Oh my
Yes,
god!
yes, they
Don't
are.
fucking get me started. Yeah,
It's
they are.
But so these are the kinds of movies that the issue here is not that HBO is trying and failing to find a way to sell stuff to audiences. The issue is that the people that made these movies agreed to all this stuff in a pre-corona world.
Yeah.
And now suddenly a lot of things that were agreed upon and codified in contracts are not being met. And we don't really know all the details. Like, if this goes through the way that HBO announced, what happens to their distribution partners? What happens to all the aspects of the production and distribution whose funding will be affected by this replanning?
Yeah,
And
'cause,
that's
like-
what people like Denis
Well,
Villeneuve and
If they're just
It's
Christopher
also-
Nolan are talking
like
about.
if they're just going straight onto subscription service, right? And like, you know, you don't have to pay extra for them. How are they even going to be able to track how much each individual movie makes in order to like pay people the proper amount?
So that's more of an issue for us, the consumers, because we generally don't see how they monetize these things,
Right.
but they definitely know.
Okay.
They won't have trouble tracking it.
Yeah.
Fair. All
The
right.
problem is the people making the movies,
Yeah.
you know, are also probably not in the loop for how HBO Max's algorithms allocate these things and track these
also,
numbers.
like, their contracts are like, you get a cut of the profits from royalties of, you know, of ticket sales.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff,
like,
and-
I was
And
gonna say,
a lot of things are determined by box office gross, box office
Percentages.
revenue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna sign on for only this much million up front because I'm gonna get X percent of the box office and residuals. And
Yeah.
that's a very different number than the number that you're gonna get from streaming.
Yeah.
And what seems to be contentious, and like I'm all for streaming and like subscription services that make big pro-consumer moves. Like I gush about Game Pass every single month I'm on this show, but like Game Pass is a program where you can opt in, and if you don't like it, you can opt out. And it doesn't seem like you can opt out of this unless you're Dune, and only Dune is Dune. Nothing is Dune. Arthur C. Clarke said the only thing you can compare to Dune is Lord of the Rings, and that is like the scope we're talking about that you have to be to get out of this situation.
Man, imagine if the movie just fucking sucks. Like,
I mean, the last one
Yeah, I
did,
know.
so whatever. But like, man, it's weird to have a situation where you can see so many problems, but we honestly know so few specifics.
Yeah.
So I think that this, especially watching how people see Dune leading the charge, and with these other very massive movies that Jocelyn just listed, this I think is going to be the story to keep an eye on for the next year.
For sure, yeah.
Sure.
It's also the other thing to keep an eye on is literally what are the theaters going to be, when are they actually going to be able to be open here now that we have a vaccine, multiple vaccines, all of that kind of stuff. We don't
And a new
actually know what
strain,
next year
which
is going to be
potentially
like.
able to be targeted by the vaccine, but
I mean,
But it's like we don't know what next year is going to entail for society.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know how it's going to affect those movies.
remember when 2020 started, our biggest worry was Australia's on fire. Oops, we might lose a
when
continent.
2020 started, on literally
It was
the
World War
first day, we thought World War III might have just gotten started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that passed after a week, and then it was Australia. So
look,
It only passed
when
because
day
of us.
one was World War III, and it got worse.
yeah, okay, I take your point.
Yeah.
I take your point. Anyway, that was the story I wanted to bring. Jeff. Jeff, how you doing?
My name is Sephiroth, and I'm here to say I'm going to talk about Sephiroth in a major way. Yeah, Sephiroth from Final Fantasies and Smash.
Hey,
That's it.
listeners,
specifically.
Jeff typed that out in the Discord earlier, and I laughed to myself like, that's funny. Good thing he's not going to say it on the microphone.
Of course I am.
Oh, yay.
That's the only thing I have to say about Sephiroth. Chowder, I mean, if you want to jump in, sneak peek on my section and talk about that a little bit more than you if you have more to say about it, which I'm sure you do. Then I'll get to my other stuff.
Yeah, like I'm looking at like pro players like using him, and like he looks like he's actually gonna like be really impactful to the meta in like a very immediate way compared to
wait. Is his sword so long that he counts as a ranged character?
I mean, he's got a lot
That's
of
a good question.
He's got a lot of zoning capabilities from both his projectiles and his sword, so you're not entirely wrong.
That's fantastic.
And also it's just a very surprising pick.
Yeah.
That is also for the most part universally liked, which is so rare. But yeah, it's a surprising pick because I didn't expect them to double dip into Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
If they were gonna.
I guess because he's just a real iconic character, and I think there's some legitimacy to what Jocelyn was saying of like he also kind of is a big player in Kingdom Hearts, right? And maybe they've got issues actually having Kingdom Hearts characters in it, so he sort of like pseudo stands in for that fandom as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
he's not like a big deal in Kingdom Hearts.
Like,
he's like
he and Cloud have like a
subplot
subplot in Kingdom Hearts
in the first one, and then like never again. But he is always like a special boss battle in the
first two, like in 1 and 2. Yeah, he brings with him more Final Fantasy songs because like Cloud only had 2 and no remixes, and now Sephiroth actually brings shit like One Winged Angel, Raid on Midgar, that kind of stuff, and like I wish they would have brought in like more Final Fantasy music from other Final Fantasies, like 9. Like the battle theme of 9 is amazing, and I would love to fight.
It's starting to sound. I bet if we dig around, we can find a recording of me complaining about the reorchestration of one of the songs in the Halo 2 anniversary thing. This is getting very Colin cast right here. You complaining about music choices. I feel like I see you. I'm on your level. It's just I'm not used to other people having this kind of complaint.
Final Fantasy has iconic music, and I'm glad to have more of it here. And also just, Sephiroth is A, one of the most iconic villains in video games, and B, Final Fantasy VII Remake did come out earlier this year. Oh, that's another highlight for 2020, I guess. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake did come out earlier, and Sephiroth played a bigger role in that than in the original, because keep in mind, 7 Remake only covers...
It's like the first of many parts of the remake.
The first disc, like, the original Final Fantasy was like split between 3 discs that came in a PlayStation thing, and Sephiroth was like the main villain of like the second and third disc. He was like a twist in the first one.
Gotcha. But I mean, I had some other stuff to talk about. Real quick, we did just recently receive another production update for the HasLab Unicron that I've talked about on many of an episode of the Common Briefing program.
Ooh.
It's been a minute. What's this big boy story?
They've been working on it. I mean, the update wasn't really much of anything. It was just like them showing off that they were like doing some like stress testing on the packaging for it. And the real cool thing for that, for me, is the location that they were doing it was at Rochester Institute of Technology's Dynamics Lab. So if they had done that fucking a year earlier, I would have still been there. But who knows if they would have done that if in non-COVID times. But yeah, that was fucking
You'll walk in there
cool.
like Dave Chappelle scratching his neck going, y'all get any Unicrons?
Quick question though, like does the Unicron come with like Mark Wahlberg? I'm curious.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Really tiny Mark Wahlberg.
No, it doesn't come with a tiny Galvatron and Hot Rod, but
tiny Mount Worlborlg.
No. It's not from that movie, Chowder. Don't you fucking bring Mark Wahlberg
So,
into
hold
this.
on. I need to put a stop to the podcast. The episode title is going to be however you spell Chowder's mispronunciation of Mark Wahlberg right there. I don't know what that was. But I need to go back and transcribe that.
Oh, Christ. But yeah, no, it was kind of cool. It was cool, like, because like I'm sure that they probably do this with a lot of like large scale products, but they, you know, it was nice to actually like see behind the scenes on some of it. So they were basically just like, you know, had a bunch of fancy machines that would like fucking pick up the box and like drop it at different angles to see like if the corners would get creased, if it would damage anything inside. They had this whole like vibrating platform that was supposed to simulate like different frequencies of a way that it could, you know, get bumped
They put
around.
a vibrator in Unicron?
No. God damn it, Chowder. I let you jump into my whole fucking section and do part
Chowder
of the whole
has
fucking
no
thing,
respect.
And you're just fucking memeing
No
my
respect
Unicron
for
content
Unicron.
here. Just you wait, this will come back to bite you, you son of a bitch. But yeah, no, the platform like simulates like the way that the package might be jostled around on like a truck bed, basically.
No, she's on this episode. Oh, never
I'm
mind.
not gonna move that.
Get
up.
the fuck out of here! As soon as I said it, I was like, one of you motherfuckers. But yeah, so that was cool stuff to see. Not like supremely exciting. Still no like updates on like dates or anything like that. But you know, it should be coming relatively soon.
Sad.
But yeah. Another piece of news that I had was today, actually, or 2 days ago for the people listening to this on January 1st. The next chapter of the Transformers Netflix series aired. This one is called Earthrise, as opposed to Siege, which was season 1. And it was a little bit better. It wasn't...
Sorry. Hold on.
What?
This came out today.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it?
It's 6 20-minute episodes.
Oh, okay. That's reasonable. Never mind. We're still like not too late in the day, really. And you're just like, yeah, this whole season of TV came out today. It was all right. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I watched it in the morning because like I just came back from New York a few days ago, so I'm still on kind of jet lag. So I've been waking up really early, and Michaela hasn't.
Oh, so
I've
it's
just had,
even
like,
earlier. It's much earlier for you than it is for me. That does make it kind of wild again.
That's a good point. I don't know. The plane rides, they threw everything out of whack, okay? It might have gone in the opposite way, but yeah. No, I watched it all this morning. It was I don't know if you remember any of my complaints about the previous season, but like I'd say that the characters had a bit more like actual character in them. I still feel that it was not really paced very well, and the voice acting is still pretty drab, and it's just like they didn't really write a story that fits within 6 20-minute episodes. They kind of like wrote it as if we had like 24 20-minute episodes and just like lopped off details and just like told us things instead of showing us things. So it's like, not great, but that does exist now. And I would say it was a little bit of a step up from the first season. And in the last like few seconds, we got some exciting tease towards the third season with Beast Wars Dinobot showing up, who is a much beloved character that has not showed up on television for like over 20 years. So if it was a better show, it would have me be a little bit more excited, because I don't think it's going to just suddenly get good in season 3, but it was kind of cool to see.
Hey. As a Star Trek fan, let me tell you,
as a
good
Star
things
Trek,
happen in
Star
season
Trek
3.
Fan for everything.
Listen, I'm saying season 3 is a magic number in Star Trek. Don't write it off.
Except with the way that this is structured in line with the toy line, as of right now, season 3 is going to be the last season. In this narrative, so
then that's like the original series, and that was bad.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know, it might be good, but I'm not really expecting it. And then the last bit that I want to talk about today is the most recent and the final episode in season 2 of The Mandalorian. That was quite a fucking thing. Yeah, Jocelyn and I already had like a long ass conversation about this. Are either of you looking to avoid spoilers or anything? Chowder?
I have not seen it.
We talked about Mandalorian.
Oh, you're right. I already talked about it with Chowder. Colin, do you
I've not watched any of Mando 2. I don't give a shit because, like Game of Thrones, when I'm not watching it, I absorb all the spoilers from news headlines and social media, because people don't know how to keep spoilers anymore, unless it's Thanos for some reason. I just had a friend watch Infinity War for the first time and was like, oh my god! And I'm like, how? How did you not know?
That's impressive.
They just got
It's very
a
impressive.
lot of memes and just did not understand them at all. Like, what's with all these memes of people disintegrating? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the big thing, I mean, it was a pretty good episode overall. There was a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but the big thing is right at the end, when all is looking very bad, who shows up to save them but fucking young Luke Skywalker. And they did a digital...
And like the thing was, he was played by Mark Hamill.
They did a
de-aging
of Mark Hamill, and in my opinion, at least, I think it looked pretty good. I
think it looked good for that.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to do that for an entire season.
I don't think
does
that...
this come across as an attempt to try to like quell the people who are like, with Last Jedi, I want to see Luke be a god. And,
Well,
like,
so
is
here's
that
the
what they're trying to
thing.
do? Like,
you first.
This makes the sequel trilogy. Wow,
Twilogy.
worse. Twilogy. It makes
this
it a little
episode is
bit-
going to be called the Worlborlg Twilogy.
It makes it a little bit worse in my opinion because like he goes to train with Luke, and we know what happens.
Okay,
with
but that's like,
Kylo.
Yeah.
that's like 15 years in the future, and I don't think that Baby Yoda is going to fucking just like get murdered by Kylo Ren. Like, I think he's going to be coming back.
But we don't know. But now we know that they're in the same world.
Yeah, but maybe Luke's training of Baby Yoda is what gives him the hubris to make the mistakes he made with Kylo later.
I
He
think
does
that-
also talk about that in the sequel trilogy. They talk about his fall and that he had something happen, and we don't really know what, but it probably is Baby Yoda, because we've seen a lot of darkness in Grogu, and he's very attached
Wait,
to...
they named Baby Yoda?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was like
It's-
3 or 4
His name is
episodes ago.
Grogu.
Which is
I
a very
hate
cute
that.
name.
I like it. No, I'm into
I
it.
don't like
Cute.
it.
But like either way,
Bad
like, I don't
mouthfeel.
think we know.
And, like-
I don't think we know.
And like my
Go ahead.
and my thought on like Luke coming in at the end, it's definitely a fan service moment, but it's a well earned one.
Yeah,
Unlike say the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I think that it was very successful. It delivered on the right emotions. I think it used him just enough. I don't think, like Jocelyn was saying, like, oh, I don't want them to do that for a whole season. I never had it in my mind at all that Luke would be a major player in the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. I think he might show up once or twice, or like, I don't think that he's going to be like a major presence. And I think
You don't
that
think they're going to do full Star Trek Discovery where they bring Captain Pike back for a whole season?
that's not the same
more-
thing, though, because Captain Pike was a largely unexplored character in the original, in his
Very
original
true. And it
appearance.
worked out
I-
very well.
I don't think that they're going to focus on him for the entire season, but it's still one of those things where, like, Grogu is a very big part of The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
so
think
they are
he's
going to
coming
check
back.
in
I
on
don't
him.
think Luke's coming back. I think that probably something is going to happen where Grogu has to leave the training and then comes back with Mando. But either way, like, I'm just kind of trying to not really like think about the implications of it until we actually see how it plays out, because like it could be that he's murdered by Kylo Ren, but it could be that like first episode of season 3 he's like, oh yeah, that didn't fucking work out, I'm back here with you, you know, like we don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm just kind of, I don't know, but the effect that Luke showing up in the actual episode had, I thought was pretty positive. I know I saw a lot of people that were saying that they wanted them to recast him as Sebastian Stan, because apparently they think Sebastian Stan looks a lot like young Mark Hamill. And I'm like, I guess I get the argument there, but like, I think it would have tossed me out of it personally if anyone other than Mark Hamill was in that role, because like,
Yeah, that would be like casting someone younger to play Han Solo. Like, just why?
yeah, right. Like, it doesn't fucking work.
Huh.
But I mean, either way, like, even if you want to defend fucking
Alden Ehrenreich,
the
you're
character in Solo, right? Like, at least we're showing a version of the character we haven't seen before. We had not seen Han Solo at that age before, right? I'm not defending Solo. but
Okay, yeah, that's very
But just
fair.
showing that example. But we've seen Luke at that age before. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, in Star Trek
It
Discovery,
just happens
like,
he's no
making-
longer at that age.
At Star Trek Discovery, we're doing young Spock, right? Like, we haven't seen
Yeah.
Spock at that age. Well, I guess we had in that one episode, right? But,
Not really.
but
no.
not really.
They did do that. They did do that ballsy ass move where they cut from a shot from 1965 two, like they cut from like face to face of both actors playing Pike, and it was like, oh, that was good casting.
Yeah,
that's ballsy.
Yeah, right. But like either way, it's
That's
like
how
we
they
hadn't
knew.
spent time with the character at that age before, but we have spent time with Luke at that age, and I think putting him as a different actor would have just tossed us way out of it. And then like I don't want Luke to be a major character, but it was nice to see him make a cameo, and it made a good effect, and it got me really
honestly
fucking pumped. So
that I didn't know all those details. That makes me more excited to watch Mando 2, because Mando 1 did not leave any particular flavor in my mouth. I thought it was very good, and then I didn't care. This kind of makes me a little interested.
Yeah, they
Season
they
2
brought
has a
lot
lot more connections to other parts of the franchise.
I
Here's the
think
thing:
that are
I don't
well
I don't care about other parts of the franchise.
You can make an argument for it being kind of fan servicey and bringing in like Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan and
well, I also don't know
Boba
those
Fett.
characters
and Boba
really.
Fett, but
so
I think that they're all done well, and they're all done like at the right amount.
Listen.
Like the characters being involved is like the right amount of involved, and like there's some fan servicey lines, but like I'm which may bother you because fan servicey stuff doesn't really ever bother me a whole lot unless it's just like serves no other end. But there's a lot of fun stuff, like fucking especially the one episode where it's like him and Boba Fett and like his two other characters that are from the Mandalorian are going to go do a heist or whatever of like an Imperial thing, and they're trying to decide who's going on this mission, and he's like, okay, Boba Fett, you go, and Boba Fett's just like, let's just say they might recognize my face, and I laughed so fucking hard at that line.
that is pretty funny.
Yeah,
That is pretty
and like
fucking funny.
the thing is, you don't need to be aware of those other parts or of the fan service to enjoy Mandalorian. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's like a nice bonus, but not necessary.
Yeah, I think what I like about Mandalorian season 1 was that it did not feel overly connected to the rest of the franchise. It just felt set in it, which was very
That
nice.
was
Not like it was trying to add meaning to everything else that everyone cared about. Like, we already care about it. Make me care about other things.
That was literally the only reason I was slightly hesitant about bringing in Luke, is because it now really connects it to the main movies, but it's kind of like they did it in a way that felt earned. Yeah. So it didn't matter as much.
Yeah,
That's
I
good to
agree
hear.
with
Well,
that.
this has been this episode. Wow, we are running long so far. We're only through half of us. I'm gonna keep the train a rolling.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. My turn?
Yeah, what you got? I heard that you're bumping around some Unicron boxes. What's the deal with that?
I have an entire list to read through for you guys of everything Disney announced they're going to be bringing.
Wait, can
in
you
the upcoming years.
Can you do it in the form of fucking Yakko Warner listing off the
wish.
countries of the world?
If I had the talent, I would. I'm gonna just quickly go through them.
Jeff, I'm so angry that this idea didn't come up like 3 hours ago.
Colin, if you could write that shit
we could have done it
and just insert it in here, please do.
Nah, because then I'd be a male editor taking away female voice, and I'll get canceled.
You can do it after the fact, or have Jocelyn be the one who records it.
If we can do it well enough, Colin, it'll be a collaboration.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine. No, go ahead. Go ahead and read the list in a human fashion.
Okay, so from Disney Television Studios for Disney Plus, we have The Mighty Ducks, Turner and Hooch reboot, Big Shot with John Stamos, The Mysterious Benedict Society, I don't know what that is, a Beauty and the Beast show that's about
what?
Josh Gad and Luke Evans characters, so it's a Gaston and LeFou show.
Wait, but is it going to be a character about them, or is it going to be a character about them played by Josh Gad and Luke Evans? Like, is it going to be bringing that casting
but nobody
back?
liked that movie.
It's starring Luke Evans and Josh Gad.
Live action?
It's a live action Beauty and the Beast television show
That's
about
a big
Gaston
swing.
and LeFou.
That's a big swing.
It's so weird.
That's
Also,
like,
Jeff, side note, do you still only think of Scrubs when you hear Turner and Hooch? Because I only think of Scrubs when I hear Turner and Hooch.
There's a lot of
Same.
things that I only think of Scrubs when I hear like the fucking never mind, go ahead. Sorry.
So they're reimagining Swiss Family Robinson, probably for the theme park tree. They're doing a Percy Jackson and the Olympians show. I believe it's animated, but it might be live action.
If it's anything like that Artemis Fowl movie.
It is not supposed to be anything like that.
Okay.
Rick Riordan has been extremely hands-on with it. National Geographic has some stuff that doesn't really matter. One of them is Limitless with Chris Hemsworth.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold the fucking phone. Limitless was a movie with Bradley Cooper. They made a show about it that wasn't just another adaptation. It also had Bradley Cooper reprising his role from the movie in the TV show. And they're just recasting Bradley Cooper as Chris Hemsworth?
No, this is like a nature documentary thing where it's Chris Hemsworth being Australian doing things out in the nature.
I was about to
This
say,
has
that's
nothing to
some
do with-
hot guy disrespect
I
there.
also thought that you were talking about it having to do with Limitless, like the fucking
The thing
Bradley
about the
Cooper
magic
movie.
drug that makes you all smart.
Yeah.
No, it's just Chris Hemsworth doing things.
Cool.
Okay, I made a lot of assumptions. My apologies.
No, I made the same ones.
There's another nature documentary called A Real Bug's Life. That's all the National Geographic stuff. Hulu. Bunch of stuff. Oh, we're getting The Dropout starring Kate McKinnon. There's going to be some stuff from Hulu that was all previously done that will just now be available. Like,
Do they have an announced date on the Orville yet? Because season 3's been
No.
like a long time. Okay,
it's not on this list.
that's fine.
Correct.
Good things from FX. Always Sunny in Philadelphia has 4 more seasons ordered.
Hell yes. Run Danny DeVito into the ground.
Pretty much
There's going to
already
be
there.
a drama series about the Rolling Stones. There's going to be a retelling of James Clavell's epic saga Shogun, set in feudal Japan.
Oh.
And they're making a series about Alien.
Oh yeah, I did.
that
read
sounds
Alien,
like
like the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
My not gonna lie, favorite thing on that list is 4 more seasons of Sunny. What
Right.
God, love everything about that show.
That sounds, again, like a lot of stuff that is going to be either very good or very bad and absolutely nowhere in the middle. Like,
Yes. ESPN stuff that no one cares about.
this is a
Lucasfilm.
geek news program. We don't talk about sports here.
ESPN, the
I'm
fuck
sorry.
outta here.
We're
I'm
Pats.
sorry. Do you guys care
No, I
about
don't.
Tom Brady getting a documentary series?
Absolutely not.
Pat
Less
probably
than
does.
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow, good thing
Lucasfilm,
Pat's not on this recording after all.
Some big news from Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
obviously.
This is the
Obi-Wan Kenobi is getting a show, obviously.
Hayden Christensen's
but
gonna be in
Hayden
it.
Christensen is going to be Darth Vader.
After the amount of Jar Jar level abuse Hayden got from fans about his performance, I was surprised they brought him back for one line of audio in Rise of Skywalker. The fact that they got him to come back for this is kind of blowing my mind a bit.
He's a great actor when given a good director.
No, I have no problem with him. I'm saying he was treated like complete garbage
Yeah.
for decades by the fans. And
I'm amazed
like,
he came back.
I'm really
I can't.
interested to
How
see
much
how
are they
do
paying
that
him to go
because,
through that
like,
again? How many therapists are they throwing at him?
I'm really interested to see how they fucking do that because, like, even at the end of episode 3, like, he was already James Earl Jones, like, with the voice. So I don't know, like, if they're bringing him back as flashbacks or if they're having him
we
be the
don't-
guy
I
in
don't
the
know.
suit.
Or
I'm
if
interested,
if
but
they just put him in the suit and dub him over with James Earl Jones.
yeah, is James Earl Jones coming back? Question mark?
They haven't said anything about him being part of it.
Interesting.
Do you guys ever watch the video of the original Darth Vader voice before they dubbed it
wild.
over?
No.
It is
think I have,
hard
but
to
I'm not
watch.
sure.
It's very bad.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
let's keep rolling. So there's a bunch of new shows that are set in the Mandalorian era, including Rangers of the Republic. We're gonna get an Ahsoka Tano show. We're gonna
I'm
get
interested in
a
that.
feature film called Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins.
Oh.
It's gonna release in 2023.
Let's
Patty
I was
Jenkins
excited
did
about the Patty Jenkins
Thor?
until about a week ago.
Yeah. There's also an unnamed Star Wars feature film directed and written by Taika Waititi.
Ooh.
And a bunch of Disney Plus stuff where we're getting Andor, Star Wars The Bad Batch, which I keep reading as Bad Bitch, Star Wars Visions, Lando, The Acolyte, A Droid Story, more from Lucasfilm. We're getting Indiana Jones' final film with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I heard that he's so old they're just gonna kill him on set to end his misery as a popular actor.
Beautiful.
Wait, they're doing they announced at the end of the Mandalorian that they're doing the fucking
Yes.
Boba Fett.
They're doing a Boba Fett show as well.
Yep.
That wasn't in the announcement they did for their
Yeah, they saved
meeting,
that,
but that
for
was
the last episode of
yeah.
Mando, which I assume
they're
is probably
also-
going to be a mini-series, I hope? Question mark?
I think it's supposed to be a mini series, and it's going to take place between seasons 2 and 3 of Mandalorian. So we're not going to get season 3 for a bit.
I'm getting this frustration with Star Trek right now, where Star Trek Discovery kicked off a new era of Star Trek in television. We already have 3 shows currently airing, 1 definitely coming soon. And then also at least 3 more that are being planned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like...
It's a lot.
I remember when I
Yeah.
started watching Arrow, when Arrow was like in season 2 or 3, and I'm like, okay, I could get into this. And then Flash came out. I'm like, sweet, a little bit more. And then there were 5 episodes of that franchise a week, and I'm like, I am deleting this app off of all my devices.
I don't know. I
like,
think for me,
it's just, there's a saturation element that like Star Wars should be very aware of, because people thought like...
Well,
5
so the thing
movies was
is-
too much.
They've announced all of this, but we don't know when we're getting half
when
of
it's
this.
getting...
They've already cast half these people. Most of them are in production. One has a
Not
release
most
date
of them aren't
2023.
in production because productions have to be
Pre-production.
stopped.
Pre-production.
Yeah, but
that's
who
the word
knows
I meant
how
to
long
use.
all that stuff is going to take in our new era of fucking COVID. Maybe they're just trying to be a little bit more prepared and start things sooner. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think personally, like, if the fucking Arrowverse had continued to be good, I would have been down for them having like 7 shows, but it just all got very bad very quickly. So like,
Yeah.
The other thing is that like Mandalorian was only like how many episodes a season?
10, I
10.
think. Yeah.
10. So if all of these are only 10 episode seasons
Yeah.
or like short seasons, it's not going to be as saturated as a like CW show.
Yeah, thank God, Jesus. We don't want anything to be more
Gonna
like the
keep
CW.
moving through this list because
Yeah.
there's a lot of things left.
Oh my God.
Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, they're gonna make a Hocus Pocus 2 sequel that'll go straight to Disney Plus. 3 Men and a Baby reboot starring Zac Efron.
Is straight to Disney Plus going to be the new version of straight to DVD? Like, oh,
Yes.
that's garbage. It's straight to Disney Plus.
Pretty much.
Yes. We're getting a Cheaper by the Dozen reboot with Gabrielle Union.
Yeah,
What? Sister
what?
Act with Whoopi Goldberg.
Cheapers, right.
Sorry, you
Gabrielle
guys don't care
Union
about
played a
this.
random Klingon in Deep Space Nine. Just like
I just love her from
We
Bring It
gotta
On.
not comment on every single thing.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Flora and Ulysses, I don't know what that is. Pinocchio film, starring Tom Hanks.
Okay.
We're getting another fucking Peter Pan reimagining from Disney. Jude Law is playing Captain Hook, though.
Interesting.
Disenchanted, which is a sequel to
That's got me
Enchanted.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I'm down
Amy
for that.
Adams will be back for Giselle.
Okay. Was Patrick
we're getting-
Dempsey? Is Patrick Dempsey back? Is that who it was?
I don't know if he'll be back. I hope he is. He was great. We're getting there's so much on this list. Oh, an animated Night at the Museum film. Jungle Cruise was going to come to theaters. Cruella's in 2021. There's going to be a Lion King prequel.
Fuck off.
Prequel.
How much
prequel.
of it? I've just got it. I've just.
The fuck
what
would even
percentage?
happen? Just like Mufasa and Scar's dad just abusing
I
Scar?
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know,
get to
that's-
see how he
I'd
got
watch
that scar.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid live action with Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Yay. But Lin-Manuel Miranda will
kinda
be
like
helping do new songs.
Oh.
And for animated studios for Disney, Raya and the Last Dragon will be a simultaneous theater release and Disney Plus release. It'll be another pay $30 on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's bullshit. They should just give up on that.
Well, it's like
Honestly,
Starting to like Wonder Woman 1984 a lot
the
more.
problem is
honestly,
it's
if they had
very-
done it at like $20, I would be down for. I would have paid $20 for Soul.
But
it's just you don't own it.
The Disney
Soul
thing that
was so
makes
good.
that like
Soul is a
actually
great
work
movie.
though is like
Love
it's
it.
not being marketed towards like, oh, you pay $30 to watch this movie. It's like, oh, you pay $30 to watch this movie and your 4 kids. So it's like normally those families would be going to the theater and spending like $50 or $60 on buying everyone's tickets plus all the snacks. So it actually is quite cheaper, but it does suck ass for like, you know.
Odd thing with this...
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't own a license to it.
Yeah.
Even like, and licenses are already sort of ephemeral in their ownership status. But like, it is so contingent on the current terms and conditions of Disney Plus that
and keeping Disney Plus.
It is very much like getting a movie ticket, much more like getting a movie ticket than any other digital distribution I've seen. Because like, it could just be gone.
But the weirdest thing about this is there's no consistency because they did it for Mulan. And now they're doing it for Raya and the Last Dragon, but they have not done it for Soul or any of their other things that they're looking at releasing.
Well, probably
I'm wondering if with Soul they were trying to go head-to-head with HBO Max, because like those are the two big movie releases streaming on Christmas Day, and nobody knew Wonder Woman was hot garbage at that point. So they were like, oh shit, we gotta fight. If we knew Wonder Woman was hot garbage, they probably would have charged us $30 for Soul.
We're also going to get Encanto, which is another theatrical release with a brand new score by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Is Encanto just the Spanish translation of Enchanted?
I don't know. They haven't said. They've only given us an image and told us who's doing the music and directing it and who's writing it and stuff.
Okay.
We're also going to get an animated show of Baymax, which I don't know how it's different from the Big Hero 6 TV show. They didn't really specify. Zootopia Plus.
I'm interested in that.
Dumb.
I mean,
it's a dumb name. I'm interested in the show. Tiana is getting a show.
Why?
I can't wait for The Sopranos Max.
Tiana from Princess and the Frog?
Yes, she's getting her own show.
For the love of God.
Moana is getting a series, and there's going to be a series called Iwaju, and I don't know anything about that.
Jeff, we should be surprised at this. This happened all the time with us when we were kids. Like, Emperor's New Groove comes out, cool. Emperor's New Groove series, bam, on Disney Channel. It's exactly the same.
You're right. It is. It's just hearing
from
it all
Pixar.
Out is upsetting.
We're gonna get the first ever long form animated series from Pixar called Win or Lose, coming
exciting.
in February of 2023.
I'll get excited in 2.5 years. Then.
Yeah. Turning Red, which is a theatrical release from the same director who did Bao. It's about a teenage girl who turns into a red panda. Lightyear, which is a yes.
Red just seems interesting to me. I like
that.
So.
Is that? That's a full length movie?
That's a feature theatrical release.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's cool. Lightyear, which is the hero that inspired the toy.
Yeah,
so it's Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Chris Evans.
Also known as Let's Make Buzz Lightyear More Fuckable.
Yes.
You're not going to lie, though.
That was my big problem with Toy Story as a kid.
I might have been, like, really skeptical about this announcement, but, like, low-key, that fucking Buzz Lightyear show that was on, like, when we were kids kind of slapped.
Oh, it was so good.
That was really good.
That like, animated movie was dope as hell. It was it's a good time.
And then a thing called Luca. And then they're going to do some stuff for Disney Plus that are like behind the scenes and more shorts, and also an unnamed Cars series, which I'm hoping means we don't get any more Cars movies. And then Marvel. We finally hit Marvel.
Oh my God.
So Secret Invasion is going to be a TV show.
Okay.
Weird.
With starring Samuel L. Jackson.
And
we're
Ben
getting
Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn. We're getting Ironheart. We're getting Armor Wars.
Is Ironheart going to be a movie or a show? Because I'm very
series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in Ironheart.
Don Cheadle is getting to be War Machine in a TV series.
Armor Wars.
We're getting
Dude, put his time in. He better get something.
Right? He's the only one who didn't have anything. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Loki is going to arrive.
He got the spank fucking, what's his name, on the way out. Crap, who played him in the first Iron Man movie? Terrence something. I almost said Terrence Stamp. Terrence Howard. Thank you. It's not Terrence Stamp. Anyway, sorry, my joke.
No, not at all.
Tony,
you
can't go in there.
Oh my God. We have a release date for Loki, which is May of 2021. What If is going to be summer of 2021, and we got to see some animation from that. It looks pretty dope. Miss Marvel TV show.
Yeah, I forgot
Hawkeye.
about that. That's the thing I'm the most excited about.
That's the
Miss
one
Marvel
I want
looks
to
good.
see the most.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hawkeye is going to be late 2021. She-Hulk,
Haley
which
Stanfield-
I'm excited about.
I'm really
for
excited for
She-Hulk.
Haley Stanfield. Like, one, she was good in Bumblebee.
yes.
2, Apple TV Plus has like a couple things that are worth watching. One of them is Dickinson, and
Wait,
she is awesome.
Who
in
is Haley
Dickinson.
Stanfield playing?
She was the main character in Bumblebee.
No, I know. Who's
She's
she
gonna
playing
be,
in this new announcement?
What's the archery Hawkeye's prodigy?
yeah.
her daughter.
Little-
or his daughter,
little-
rather.
Well, no.
daughter.
They're like
Just so-
Hawkeye.
The character isn't the daughter.
Whatever. Okay.
But she's going to be the new Hawkeye.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
And then She-Hulk with Tatiana Maslany.
So fucking pumped for that.
So excited for
I'm
that.
interested in
I
that.
just
Yeah.
hope it's a
Great.
fucking legal drama.
Yes, I want it to be very mundane.
But like she's just
Are you
tall and
kidding
green
me?
the whole time.
She's just, yes.
I would love to watch a show of Tatiana Maslany just like suppressing anger while trying to rip people apart in court. Are you kidding me? That sounds
Yes.
awesome.
It's amazing. We got Moon Knight, also excited for. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I Am Groot show. And then for movies.
That's like a mini series, right? They're not doing a full fucking thing with that.
I hope it's a
'Cause,
mini
like,
series.
for-
Imagine when I Am Groot comes out and people are like, man, the writers don't know how to do dialogue.
And then finally, the film slate for Marvel. We got Black Widow from May 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings 2021. It just wrapped production. Eternals, November 5th, 2021. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Black Panther 2,
man.
July 8th, 2022. Blade,
Nice.
currently in development. Captain Marvel 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
And for those earlier ones, do we know what the distribution? Like, are they doing it on Disney Plus or are they doing theatrical?
I don't think they've
or-
announced that.
So all of those films are set for theatrical.
Okay. Pending COVID.
Yeah. Two feature films from Marvel unveiled. So there's an Ant-Man and Wasp Quantum Mania and a Fantastic Four movie that was also announced, but those are extremely in development, I believe.
Cool.
But so everything I said before the movies is supposed to be for Disney Plus.
I figured
Gotcha.
as much for all
Yeah.
of that, but
Fair
But
enough.
as of right now, there is no plans to put any Marvel movies direct to Disney Plus.
that
I think
means
they're
they
trying
won't
to
be
keep-
garbage.
Well, I think they're trying to keep the hype around them, like they're an event.
yeah.
Which the other stuff for them isn't as big of an event
Yeah.
thing.
That makes sense. Well,
And that's what you missed on Disney.
No way in hell am I going to turn that into a song.
You-
Chowder, bring it home.
Man, I feel like I've been done dirty here. I gotta rush through my thing, I think.
Hey, at least you got a little fucking cameo
we're already
in my
beyond-
section, Chowder. It's a doozy. It's to fucking round out the year. Go for it, Chowder.
It
Take
is.
as long
No,
as
it's
you
a
like.
lot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, first thing I want to talk about. I put this on the Geeking Channel Discord, but Alan Dean Foster is going to court with Disney for owed royalties for years of owed royalties.
Huh?
For more, so to get into detail, Alan Dean Foster did a Star Wars, a novelization for Star Wars, and it was super successful and is still successful to this day. And when Disney bought out the Star Wars IP and Lucasfilms and stuff, they stopped giving him his royalties, and he's like, "Hey, give me my royalties," and Disney's like, "No, your deal was with the old guys. We're different," and he's like, "This is bullshit." And now
That is bullshit.
And yeah,
And
and
this
Not how that works.
yeah,
and people wonder why everybody's salty about this HBO Max deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal. This court case is a big deal because if Disney wins, that means that all companies can weasel their way out of paying royalties by just selling it to
Transferring some
themselves.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
selling
horseshit.
it- Yeah. So the article I'm getting this from is from the Wall Street Journal. Star Wars novelists seek years of missing royalty payments from Disney by Eric Schwartzel. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that. But Schwartzel.
Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg. But yeah. So yeah, big deal. Something we're all gonna have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah,
in the
that's a
coming
big
year.
one.
Yep. Less big one, but fulfills my Schadenfreude. Cyberpunk. That's
yeah. I forgot about Cyberpunk. We gotta talk
Cyberpunk
about
2077.
Do we?
Cyberpunk
Yes,
2077.
it's maybe one of the
been a
biggest
hot mess.
entertainment launches ever.
It's one of
Ja-
the most
so,
epic
yes, we ha-
failures.
Oh man,
It is. Oh, it is not an epic failure. I can't wait for Chowder to say everything, and then I'm going to contextualize it.
So, like, in this article by Jason Schreier, it describes, like, a meeting that, like, Cyberpunk management had with their devs, and they just went to town tearing them apart.
Fucking good.
Yeah, like, example, like, why did you say we were ready to go in January when you know that clearly wasn't the case? And, like, one employee even went, you think it's hypocritical for you guys for us to make a game called Cyberpunk when like the company is not even remotely punk and like works their employees to the bone.
Yeah.
and like Cyberpunk, the launch for Cyberpunk has been a hot mess. Like game breaking glitches. Like the PC version, the save file can corrupt if it goes over like what was it?
8 megabytes.
8 megabytes.
It's like 8
Yes.
megabytes. And what happens is certain things like recursively save, certain things expand, and then it breaks the save file. On PC, on console, what we're seeing for people who have an Xbox One vanilla or a PlayStation 4 vanilla is that it is so poorly optimized that the game can be literally unplayable because of the inability to move things around, clipping through architecture. And the thing is, like, if people also thought this was going to be a next-gen showcase, but as we've covered in this show, guess what? Nobody can get the next-gen consoles except me, apparently. So guess what? Nobody on console can really play the game now.
Yeah, and like the console versions are so busted. Like CD Projekt Red like promised, oh, you can get a refund, but they didn't check in with GameStop or Sony or Xbox.
Oh my god!
So like there was an entire shit show, and like Sony got so fucking fed up that like they pull the digital version from their storefront.
My favorite thing about that was someone tweeted after that, hey, Xbox just got Cyberpunk as the biggest exclusive of the year, then you have to pay for it.
Christ.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk 2077. The very like antithesis of the punk movement.
And you want to know the crazy thing about it? Despite how widespread this is, the universal approval of retailers for returns, after all the returns and refunds, 13 million copies sold.
Damn.
That's awful.
It is, it is an astonishing number considering something that goes for $60 a pop at least.
Yeah.
Because I have heard from like bugs
done.
aside, it's pretty generally positively received, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
as a function, as a game.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, as you've seen, like in the Dice Populi Discord, we've got some folks in there that play it on PC, and they're like, "I fucking love this."
Yeah,
game.
I know. Keenan
There's some
has
people
been
who luck
raving
out with the
about
bugs. I want to play the game itself. I'm gonna wait until it's optimized, but I think I'm also gonna wait until there's any indication that CDPR is.
I'm gonna wait till it's $5 on Steam.
Yeah,
It's
same.
It's I'm waiting for them to optimize it for the new Xbox so that I can just like not worry about this. I'm not even done with Assassin's Creed yet, so whatever.
Yeah, there's plenty of games.
They need to unionize the gaming industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Sure they do. Yeah.
Oh man.
So.
In more positive news, there's this cartoon that's been in the works for 5 years, independent. They had a crowdfunding for their pilot a long time ago, and after 5 years, it's finally gonna come out in January 11th. They announced it. They have a little teaser.
Oh, wow, that's soon.
And it's looking really good. It's exactly what you it's like like Long Gone Gulch is like this cartoon about like this sort of fantasy western setting with all these like really crazy characters, and and like it's got like an animation style that's like really fun and eye catching, and the character designs are just fun. So yeah, that's looking good. So
what's it airing on?
I think it's just airing online because yeah.
Okay. I'm into
Speaking
it.
of small indie games, Among Us also has a new map coming out in January.
Oh, nice.
Radical. And the last thing I want to talk about, let's talk about a Kickstarter. Kayla,
Okay.
A Shattered Sky. It's like a 5e supplement. It's already met its goal. It's at $3,200. They were asking for $1,500, so. And
Nice.
They got 28 days to go as of like the recording of this episode. And the general idea of it is that like a lot of like Magitech stuff has enabled people to like live in the sky, and so the setting is like these sky cities, and it looks really cool. So check it out.
Cool.
Very, very nice. All right, we're going to head into the rating section, and a long year with a long episode. So this is the part of the show where we try to figure out over the last month what was the single piece of geek news that we think is worth everyone's attention.
Man.
What was the most important, interesting, or impactful piece of news? I did forget to drop one little thing. I'm not going to go into it. Letterkenny, Season 9 dropped, day after Christmas. One of the best fucking shows out there, and fuck if Season 9 wasn't great and made me extremely happy. I'm just sad that we didn't get 2 seasons this year like we normally do. Anyway, just throwing Letterkenny out there. It's worth your time. But we've got kind of a big month.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about how to categorize it.
Okay.
Because if we try to itemize Jocelyn's list,
No, I think that's
I'm just
going to
delete my audio and give up.
That is what I was going to.
I think
to.
the Disney list. I
yeah.
think the Disney list is a piece of news.
I'm gonna fucking nominate the
Oh, yeah.
the fucking Dizload as my pick for this month. I think
It's
that
just so much.
it's just like, I mean, even the fact, like, all of the things individually are each stories in their own right, but the fact that they decided that it was like a good like marketing decision to just drop like this fucking ton of stuff on us all at once, I think
It
is
kind of
is
feels
kind of
like
a story
Disney
in
is
its
taking
own
us
right.
to court and trying to drown us in litigation.
No,
It's
so
just like, they'll never
they-
read through all of this.
They did it for their stock prices.
Yep.
They were
Well, Disney's
down
been
so much
tanking.
this year,
Oh, what has
and because of Soul and this announcement, they are now net positive. They've like surpassed so many other
Oh,
companies this
wow.
year because
Yikes.
of these announcements. Like, it's wild.
Yeah.
It was a very genius marketing scheme.
So I will say my hesitance to nominate the Disney list or the Warner Brothers fiasco is the same reason why in September I was hesitant to nominate the console stuff, is because we're just seeing the beginnings of these things. If we want to nominate the Disney list as like a marketing move, that is decidedly something that has happened.
I think that's where I'm thinking about it as. I'm not really
Okay.
thinking like, oh, the big news is all of these each individual shows and what those are
Yeah.
going to entail in terms of media. Like, but it's more about the announcement for me that
Okay.
felt the most significant. But of
makes
course,
Except that,
open
like,
to hearing
they
other
kind of had
arguments.
such a shit year. Probably
Who the
lost
fuck hasn't?
so much money.
Yeah, well, 'cause
And
of
yet
the
they were
parks, too.
still able to say we have this much in the works. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I will say, though, bouncing off of Chowder's last section there, and this might just be because I'm more in this circle than you guys, but Cyberpunk definitely had a bigger
That's a big
impact on my experience. And again, 13 million copies of anything is a lot. 13 million copies of something that costs $60.
Yeah.
Like, the video game industry is bigger than the movie industry, has been
yeah.
for a while. And it's going to be a long time before a movie makes as much money as Cyberpunk. And the fact that it made that much money while being as controversial and fucked as it is,
Yeah.
and also being as great as it is, I guess, I haven't played it. I think I would probably nominate Cyberpunk 2077's incredulous launch
Yeah.
for the story of the month.
I could see it going either way. Those were the two big ones. And, like, I heard a lot about Cyberpunk, which is saying a lot considering I'm not in that world
Yeah.
at all. But,
Yeah.
sorry, go
I
ahead,
mean,
Chowder.
I could give my vote to like the Disney list because sure, that is actually a pretty big deal. But fuck it, I'm giving it to Sephiroth.
All right, cool. So it's up to the three of us, not Chowder, to decide.
I just it,
Well, that decided
bugs
it.
me
If
so
that's,
much.
That's 2-on-1 for Disney for the Disload, Colin. I think Cyberpunk just got
I was
out
gonna
here.
say with my issue with Cyberpunk is I'm just so annoyed that it did yes, we want to support the developers for going through all of that crunch, but we need to support them in a way that's different.
Yeah.
We need to find
Yeah.
a way to actually help them make change.
Right, no one is boycotting any of these companies, which I don't know would be the best solution to it because
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't really,
there's not
I don't really
an
buy
easy
stuff.
solution.
yeah.
I don't really buy stuff from CDPR or Rockstar, really, but there's certainly not there are boycotts, but nothing that puts a dent in it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Yeah.
CDPR
But,
and
that's-
Well,
Rockstar
it's got to be
rush
more
it.
like laws being written to prevent it, because
Yes.
it sure,
Yes,
for
yes,
sure
yes.
would make a difference if everyone boycotted these games, but it's just not going to happen. In the same way that
No.
we all know that Disney is a terrible company, but we're still going to consume Disney media. And,
Did you ever see that episode of South Park where they're making fun of boomers and they're saying you guys sold the world to the devil so you could have nice cars? Why did you kill us like that? And at the end of the episode, the devil says to the kids, it's okay, yeah, I'll save the world, but you have to stop playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And the kids are like, never mind. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the game
That's everyone with
situation.
Disney.
Cool. Well, yep, that's exactly right. So the Disney list, the Disload. Nope, Disney list.
No,
I hate that term.
Disload is
So-
so much better.
It's very bad. So if you haven't read through the list, you have now. And it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving for many, many years, and we'll see how it unfolds. But man, yeah, trying to loading up news sites the day after that announcement and seeing all these headlines of different shows was pretty fucking wild. I was like, did I sleep for a week? What happened?
I was
Yeah.
so overwhelmed that day because I was
Yeah.
seeing it as it was coming out, but it was also the video game awards that night. So
God.
it was just so much going on. And
Yeah,
I was
I woke up
Sephiroth was
expecting-
announced right after I found out that we were getting an Ahsoka Tano show, and I was like, what?
Yo, Jeff can stand witness. I was going wild when Sephiroth was announced.
Yeah, very true. I wonder if that was deliberate to fucking try to pull. That's not even a fucking competing industry, really. But I don't know. It seems a little bit too close to be just total coincidence. Disney. I don't know. Maybe Disney is gonna be
Yeah.
fucking launching their video game
How
platform.
can Disney? How can Disney continue to call Avengers the most ambitious crossover event of all time when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate exists?
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
And also, Disney's tried to break into the video game market many
They have a
times,
couple
and
games
they
coming out
failed.
next year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see, because their previous attempts have not quite
Yeah,
worked
they're-
out.
Well,
Well,
see.
I'm going to say that about wraps it up. We've been running here for a while. I will say my migraine is mostly gone. I'm going to very shortly hang up this call, step into the light, and see what happens. I have been Colin Ketchin. I host this monthly. The first Friday of every month, we sit here to recap geek news. You can also find me on commongeekingprogram.com. I do a couple other shows, and it's all a lot of fun. How about you guys?
I have been Jeff Levitt. Of course, you can find me on the Common Geeking program proper, which goes on the third Friday of every month. So we'll have another one of those in 2 weeks from now. I've got an Instagram that I continue to keep saying, even though I have not posted on it in several months. That's things I wish existed,
Several
and there's
months.
a dot between each word. I've got a toy review YouTube channel, if that's up your alley, and if not, no worries. That's Alchemist Prime Reviews, and that's my bit.
And I've been and will continue to be Jocelyn.
You can't prove that.
If you want to,
That's what you think. You're making some bold claims.
wow. If you want to support
Did that sound
me,
threatening?
Yes.
Sorry.
If you want to support me, watch Mau Mau
Edit.
Heroes of Pure Heart on HBO Max. Also,
Not because you worked on it or
Tig-Tone-
anything, just because.
Emotional
yeah,
support. Just tweet pictures of the show at her.
Also, just watch Animaniacs on Hulu. It's great. I didn't work on it,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna
it's
say.
great. Support it. We want more. Cool. Chowder?
Hi, I'm Timel Chaudhary, or Chowder, whichever you prefer. You can find me on Twitter at Timel Chaudhary. I also run the Common Geeking Program Twitter account at Geeking Program. You can also see stuff there. And yeah, that's it.
Very nice. Well, hey, to the three of you guys, let's say goodbye. to the calendar of 2020. To everyone listening, welcome to
bless.
2021. There's absolutely no difference in how I'm living my life. So we're just going to kind of roll with it. We'll be back in 2 weeks with an episode, I believe, about Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh, yeah. We already recorded it, too.
Really, the Wonder Woman 1984 of the Transformers franchise. And we're gonna have some folks dive into that. We'll be back in a month with another episode of the Common Briefing Program to talk about who the fuck knows what's gonna happen in January. Let's find out together. Goodbye, I guess.
The acquaintance be
Oh, shut
forgot,
up.
No, Chowder.
and
no.
the rest
No.
of the lyrics.
This episode of the Common Briefing Program was hosted by me, Colin Ketchen, and I was joined by Jeff Levitt, Jocelyn Barkenhagen, and Chowder, Chowdery. This podcast is sponsored by Excedrin, doing everything it could to get me out of that migraine. You can check the show notes below for details on all the stories we talked about, if you want to learn a little bit more about them. You can also find more from us, this show, and others at commongeekingprogram.com. So I'm going to say goodbye to 2020 and hope that you guys have a wonderful 2021 for all that matters. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, and thank you for listening to this.
Isn't actually running, is it?
Now it is.
Okay, yeah, I'm recording.
Oh,
And you can't prove me that I'm not. Prove me that I'm not? You can't prove that I'm not.
The
good
Oh,
job.
right, chronograph, right. I should be on that.
the timeless Jeff refrain, challenging people to prove various aspects of his existence.
Can you even prove I exist? Really?
Well, you can't prove a negative, so I hope so. And
I don't
there's the cat.
understand.
There's the
Are you
baby.
saying my existence is a negative, or you're saying you can't
Well,
prove
what I'm
I
saying-
don't exist?
Well, that's the thing. It's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist. So if you're asking us to prove that
Yeah.
you exist, I'm like,
Sure.
I'd hope so. I'd hope that's what
That's
you're
an
asking.
easier
because
thing
that's
to
the,
do than
That's the
than
only
proving
thing that
that I
I
don't
could
exist.
do. Exactly. But that I'm wondering. That actually sounds like a fun idea. Can we challenge? I don't know, one of our more academically minded friends, I don't
mean
know,
Austin?
say Austin,
Austin.
to write a paper proving the existence of a person that we hang out with and talk to, and just getting into the intricacies of why even such a simple idea as that is not entirely tenable. Because that
Maybe-
sounds
Yeah.
like...
Maybe
I'm
after
sure that he's got-
done with his teaching of the class.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that
No,
he's got
let's just
plenty of
fucking-
free hours to just
Let's-
write excess fucking nonsense philosophical essays about whether someone we know
Nah,
exists
let's
does
just,
actually
like-
exist.
Crash his Zoom meeting or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And just,
No, let's just join his class.
Philosophy is just a hobby for Austin, sure.
Not as
Anyways,
when do
we
competitive
clap?
Anyway.
Oh,
When do
yeah,
we-
clap. Oh, I thought this was going to be the podcast. Awkward. Let's clap at 2:15. 5 seconds.
okay.
Oh boy.